Now, with great pleasure, I'm going to hand over. We're going to focus now completely on Ireland, and I'm delighted to be able to welcome the UK, Ireland, Nordics country manager, James McClure. He's a fantastic guy. Where's he gone? Oh, he always sneaks up behind you, by the way. So welcome, James, and hand it over to you.
Thanks very much, everyone. It's great being in such an international company that you can have an English guy coming in to talk about Ireland. And it's probably not every Saturday morning that you wake up and get told that you're the solution to modern tourism. But that actually, regardless of who the government minister is, that's actually what the ministry have already recognised. That it's the Irish people that are actually the source of helping to bring more people in. And that, last year there were around a little bit over 8 million international visitors came to Ireland. By 2025, we're expecting to have 10 million. And we want to make sure that there's not 10 million crap trips, that there's 10 million fantastic trips. And it's actually about the people, and it's the people in the room that are providing that. And so we'll actually just start with an example of someone who is doing that. This is Bridget.
Airbnb has given me the freedom to pursue my art. I have been able to go to art classes and life drawing and to buy materials like paints and papers and pencils and all of those things. It's given me a means of enjoying life. It makes me feel more secure. And it's probably made me more confident with people as well. That's made me much happier.
And there's been stories like that. More than 400,000 people have stayed in Ireland with Airbnb, and they've stayed all across the country, more than 500 cities, towns, and villages. But more importantly, they've stayed with you. So I know we'll get a chance to talk to each other and find out each other's stories, but thinking of that broad thousands of Irish hosts, let's have a look at actually who we are, what we represent, and if we were to have a census of the Irish hosts, this is what we'd be looking like. So if we were to pick the average person, they would be about in their mid-40s, most likely female, and they'd be earning around the median income. So they would be a regular person. And in fact, actually using that money to keep life just ticking over. So more than half of the income is used for regular household expenses. So paying the rent, paying the mortgage, paying the electricity bill. And of course, a bit of holiday, so adding into those millions of numbers of people going on holiday, but also we're actually a very creative and entrepreneurial group. So 15% of the hosts actually have used the money from Airbnb to be able to put into their business and help to grow. And again, that average, I shouldn't say average, the at random picked out host is actually going to be pretty likely to be self-employed or freelance or in the creative industries, which I think goes into the way in which you all are able to host very creatively and be able to show people the real Ireland, the real town that you're from. And most importantly, it's that pride that comes out. So we have a quote here where it's, people have really enjoyed being able to meet people from around the world, actually helps us think more internationally and maybe more likely to go on trips. But actually it's bringing that pride of where you're from and being able to show someone around your favourite spots, your Dublin, your Cork, your Dingle, and allowing them to have that great trip, which allows them to feel like they're truly at home. And more than half the people have found that this helps them connect with their local place much better. But then I think the last one of 3 and 4 people say it's been more positive. I think there's, I don't know how many billions around the world are spent on yoga, wellness, prescription drugs, things to make yourself more happy. I mean, I'd love to get a PhD in and see whether there's actually, that hosting is actually a source to make people happier around the world. And I think in that spirit of happiness and sharing, then I'm going to welcome on stage Natasha Minton-Mills, who's our policy manager, talk about the sharing economy in Ireland. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's amazing to have you all here. I thought since we've heard exciting stories from you, our hosts, it was a chance to look at the sharing economy as a whole, which we're all part of. The sharing economy in Ireland has some incredibly inspiring stories, and there are some phenomenal businesses and enterprises that are growing here. But I thought, first of all, let's look at what it looks like globally. PwC said in 2014 that they thought the sharing economy was worth roughly around 15 billion euros. And they predicted that by 2025, it was going to be worth 335 billion. It's an incredible growth, a whopping number. And we would love to be able to know what that means for Ireland. But I can tell you, currently we don't. And that is why, as an industry, we are coming together, all of the different businesses, to work that out and to start talking louder about how we are as an industry all together. So I'm really pleased to bring up some of the other members of Share Ireland, Elizabeth Doherty, who's going to talk you through who Share Ireland is, and some of the great other businesses that are part of pulling this all together. So thank you very much. Come on up.
Yeah, Andrew was going to hold. Yeah. Hi there. So I would like to really thank Natasha and thank Airbnb for having me here today. It's really wonderful to speak to a room full of people that are so active in hosting and being part of the sharing economy. I'm very excited to tell you more about Share Ireland, what it is, how it's forming, and most particularly what it means to all of you here. And it's thanks to you, as we've heard, really, to sharing your homes and creating great experiences that have made the phenomenon of the sharing economy so well known. And while the term may be well known, if we go ahead and click, all of us will know that sharing is nothing new. People have been bartering, exchanging, loaning, sharing really since the start of time. And we've all been conditioned to do this from very young. But what is new, to go ahead, is really the technology that's enabling this. It's created ways of linking people with supply and demand, or in your case, for linking hosts and guests on a world scale that hasn't been available before. You all know, and we've all heard really how easy it is for you to connect with Airbnb's really game-changing platform to people around the world and host people that were once strangers in your house and they become your friends. And many of you manage this from your smartphone, really going on your everyday activities, and it becomes just something that folds in. And while we think that current opportunities really now in the sharing economy are great, Natasha's just mentioned that really what's unfolding, we're really at the infancy of it. And that's where Share Ireland comes in. With this growth, we find, and that's Airbnb and the other companies that you'll hear, there's a core of about 13 to 15 here in Ireland, some of them leading international players like Airbnb and others indigenous startup companies that have grown in the sharing economy. And we believe, all stakeholders, that there's really a responsibility for everyone to take awareness of this and create awareness and create active responsibility. So I'm going to tell a bit about Share Ireland. We're bringing together key players, leaders, founders, makers, influencers, providers, users, partners, academics, enthusiasts, and you as hosts involved in shaping Ireland's sharing economy to establish active support for the development and awareness of Ireland's sharing economy. We've got key objectives that we're looking at, and we really want to bring a voice to the sharing economy community and advocate a proactive attitude towards its development. We want to highlight the potential the sharing economy has to strengthen Ireland's cities, communities, businesses, and as well its residents and its visitors here. I'm going to just move over here if I can for a minute. So this includes the opportunity to use resources more sustainably and to build new communities and networks and increase opportunities for micro-entrepreneurs and SMEs that we've just heard about here. So if we go ahead. What we want to do is work to set standards. So we're working with other organizations similar to Share Ireland in cities like London, in countries like the UK, cities like Amsterdam, as well in the Netherlands. And we're looking to set standards for responsible development of the sharing economy. And part of that is looking at establishing a trust mark that will identify companies and users and providers in the sharing economy that adhere to responsible development and responsible code of conduct. That's something that's very important in building the sharing and the trust within the sharing economy. The other part that we're working on is to find answers, to respond to the shared challenges of our members. And that's working with all stakeholders that we can actually create a proactive environment for regulatory issues that are taking place and involving opportunities for the sharing economy. So this is really a conversation that we're looking to start. Other associations like Share Ireland and other countries have done this, and they've come with amazing results really in a short amount of time. Sharing Economy UK has already been able to impact tax breaks for people that are working in the share economy, either in a peer-to-peer home exchange or for peer-to-peer goods exchange on platforms like Etsy. And those are the things that Share Ireland, with the community of businesses and all of the platforms in their communities like you here today, are getting involved in to actually raise awareness and become an active voice in that. So we're really excited with that. We're a group of companies, as you know, Airbnb is one. There's other 12 to 15 that are here. And I'm going to turn it over now to a couple of the other founding members that are here and let you talk about their businesses, their involvement in the sharing economy, and how their communities are getting behind Share Ireland. So the first one is Andrea, and she's from Grid Finance, and I'll let you go ahead and tell her story.
Thanks, Elizabeth. I went too far. Got a bit excited with the clicker, I think. So my name is Andrea Linehan, co-founder and commercial director at Grid Finance. We're a peer-to-business lending platform. Ironically, what I do to explain what we do is use hosting as an example. So I often say to people, you know, if you have a room, if you have a house, an additional, if you're lucky enough to have a second house, you know, why would you have it sitting there doing nothing and not earning you income? You'd of course rent it out, bring in guests, and earn that additional income. Well, the same can be said for your savings. You have money sitting in an account, so why not rent that out and let somebody else use it, put it to work, and the rental income you earn is in a version of interest. So what we do is facilitate people like everybody here in the audience to lend directly to local businesses to help them grow and expand those businesses. This is a sector that's worth in its billions in the UK and in Ireland, and you all are very much early adopters of the Airbnb concept, but as you know, in general, as Irish, we're a skeptical bunch and we can be slow on the uptake, which I think is a positive thing because we tend to like to watch other people make the mistakes, I think, and then, you know, come in and leapfrog everybody. And that's a big challenge we're having, and a big reason why we're helping to co-found Share Ireland is to help build awareness that it isn't just about sharing your homes, that you have any number of things that you can share and help create value. So specifically for Grid Finance, the extra value that's being created is both sides, business owners and individuals, are helping to create economic and societal value by pooling their resources. So you as people will have, you know, you could have €500, €1,000, and by giving that to someone, to a business owner, somebody who has all those other resources that can put your €1,000 to work and actually create more value out of that, and you both then share that value. It's hugely powerful, and I would encourage anybody that, you know, particularly if you're earning some really good funds through your hosting, kind of think, right, what else can I do with this? You know, there's other tourism businesses in my community, how can I help them? Maybe it's through a business loan. So just something to consider. Just a little bit about our involvement with Share Ireland. It's very important for us in place like Ireland, where, you know, regulation can be quite difficult or challenging, or there's just generally a lack of awareness about all these initiatives that we band together. We're not a bank, we're a non-bank finance provider, and we've recently co-founded a member organisation called the Independent Financial Providers of Ireland, and similar to Share Ireland, we're pooling together all the non-bank finance providers to help build awareness and to let people know that, you know, there's other options beside the banks. It's no different to you guys in Airbnb saying, you know, you have other options beside the hotels. I went to Donegal a couple of weekends ago. My first time there, spectacular. By God, did it cost me an arm and a leg. I just couldn't believe it. Now, we stayed in hotels and houses, should have looked at Airbnb, never actually thought about it. And I just remember coming back from the weekend thinking that would have gotten me 2 weeks in, you know, the south of France. And the reality is so many people are being alienated from traveling around our own island because of the expense of it. And it's you guys that are actually giving, options to people to do that staycation thing. So it's not just about tourists coming from abroad. It's actually giving people here on the island the opportunity to explore what we have. And that's very much what we're doing at Grid Finance. We're trying to democratise money and help everyday people put their €5 to work. So it's not just the IFSC guys who get to use complex investment products and earn great returns. Any of us can do it. It's our money, we own it, and we need to take that back and put that money to work for ourselves. Delighted to be here, by the way. So thank you for having me here to share in your day. I'm going to pass you over to Adele, who's one of our other co-founders of the Sharing Economy.
Thanks, Andrea. Hi, everybody. Welcome, and thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Edel Kennedy, and I am head of marketing with a new Irish company called Urban Volt. Can I just ask the audience, how many of you here have actually heard of Urban Volt? One, two, that's two more than I actually expected. And the reason for that is that we're actually just up and running for 6 months. We went to market 6 months ago. We haven't started advertising or marketing just yet. And yet, despite that, we've already signed up scores of customers who are all revenue generating, and we're already getting inbound calls. And why is that? One of the reasons is because we are part of the sharing economy, and there's now much more awareness and much more acceptance of it. Come back to what Andrea said, like, we are a bunch of skeptics, so it's very hard to get people to come around to a new idea. But because Airbnb is here for a while, people now understand what the sharing economy is about. So just to tell you what we do, I'll use the analogy of Airbnb. So what the company here did was they took two groups of people. There was the people who had the houses, the properties, the rooms. They wanted to generate income and let them out. And then on the other side, you have all the people who are looking for somewhere to stay. They want to have a true experience, and they also probably want to spend a little bit less than you would in a hotel. The problem was no way of those two groups of people actually connecting. So what Airbnb did was create the platform, the trust, the means of actually connecting those people. So what we've done is it's a similar kind of model. So what we've done is we have taken institutional investors. These guys are specifically who we're dealing with are funds who want to get money out there for energy efficiency programs. But the problem is that they can only deal with €1 million plus projects because of the due diligence, the legal issues, credit checks, etc. involved. And yet there are thousands of companies all over Ireland, small SMEs, who have survived the recession. These are smart people. They want to reduce their operating costs, but they can't afford to invest in energy efficiency. So what we have done is we have created a platform similar to what Airbnb has done to connect these two. So we can connect all these funds with the small companies. We go in, we retrofit their premises. What we're focusing on right now is LED technology, and we instantly cut their operating costs. We take a share of the savings for a duration of 5 years, and they get to keep the technology afterwards. They're also sharing our technology because we're going in and putting tens of thousands of euro worth of our hardware into their ceilings. So it all comes down to trust. And I think that without companies like Airbnb and companies that have exposed or have developed the sharing economy model and have made it familiar and have made it trustworthy, and people now realize, okay, this is the way to go. This is giving us new opportunities. And going back to some of the figures that were mentioned earlier, 15% of hosts here in Ireland use that money that they gain to start a new business. And that's what we want to do. We want to help those small SMEs to use that money to grow their business. 20,000 euro in savings means nothing to somebody like Diageo or Microsoft, but to an SME that can make the difference between developing a new product line, maybe hiring somebody else, that new staff member, maybe they have come off the dole, they will generate more sales, they're putting more money back into their local economy, and that's why it's really important. Would our business model have worked 10 years ago? I don't think so. There was a need for it, but I think the trust and the skepticism, there was no trust there was too much skepticism. So I think that we all have a massive opportunity in terms of what we're doing, and we can only hope that it's going to grow even further. Thank you.
So we'd now like to welcome Kieran up. Kieran from GoCar.
Not at all nervous, but I'll just tell you a little bit about our business, GoCar. I'll do something similar to Edel. How many of you have heard of GoCar or are members? Wow, It's fantastic, brilliant. It's a good start. So basically, what is GoCar? GoCar is Ireland's only car-sharing service. We have over 150 vehicles located throughout Dublin and Cork City, which are available on demand to our members. So how does it work? So basically, members sign up online. They book their vehicle or their desired vehicle through our app or through our website for as little as 1 hour. They access it using the smart RFID card, drive it, and then they bring it back when they're finished with it. Basically, our members are anybody who are over the age of 21 and have a full driver's license. So I'm sure that includes most people here. So we're very accessible in that regard. Our rates are fully inclusive of fuel, tax, insurance, and also Dublin City Centre on-street parking. So how does the sharing economy affect our company? Over the last 12 months, we've seen a huge growth and demand in our service. And that's major, a lot of that is down to sharing economy companies like Airbnb, like Uber, and Dublin Bikes, who've broken down the mindset to sharing, opened it up, and I suppose, made it accessible to businesses like ours. And basically, I'll just keep it very short and sweet. If you have any questions afterwards, feel free to ask me, and I'll gladly answer them. Okay, thanks, folks.
And lastly, Debbie, please come on up.
Hi everybody, my name is Debbie Moriarty and I founded rentmydress.ie, and I always introduce rentmydress.ie as the Airbnb for dresses because it is the very same model again, like Adele and Andrea and Kieran. It's the same model. So basically I have a website that matches ladies who have dresses with ladies who want dresses. So, but before I go into that, I'll just tell you a brief little bit about myself, how I got here and why I set up the site. Well, my background is in marketing. I worked for Bord Fáilte and Tourism Ireland over in Frankfurt for many years. And so I absolutely loved my job, and I think it was easy to do because I loved the product, which was Ireland. And when I was coming here today, I was thinking that all of you who have your houses and you're selling your houses, you're all like little kind of tourism managers yourselves. You're ambassadors for Ireland, you're ambassadors for your homes. And I think for me, it was very easy to sell Ireland, and I'm sure it's the same for you guys. So I think that interaction, owning that product yourselves, makes it a lot easier to sell. So I worked over in Frankfurt doing very traditional kind of marketing. We did sales missions, direct marketing, trade promotions, consumer promotions, where we'd be in the big fair arenas, standing behind a counter, telling people about Ireland. We did e-marketing at the time. There was no digital marketing. That's shown now my age, but we did e-marketing. So there was a bit of internet, a bit of email, a bit of e-sign and stuff like that, but no Facebook, no Twitter, none of that kind of stuff. So skip forward, I ended up finding my husband in Frankfurt and marrying Colin, and we had our first baby over in Frankfurt. Liam was born there. So when Liam was 4 months, we decided to come home. And I thought, yeah, sure, I'll go back to work 4 days a week and it'll be grand. But once I held my little baby, I was one of those mothers that was like, oh God, how am I going to do this? I can't give him up. So I tried to go back to work for Tourism Ireland for 9 months and cried probably every day of those 9 months because I just hated leaving Liam. Now, at the same time, there was a lot going on. Things were emerging with Liam. We discovered later on that Liam had autism and has now been diagnosed with ADHD as well. So he was a very busy little child. He wasn't a child you could really leave in a creche. Even before he was diagnosed, there was things going on with him. And I think that was part of the reason why I just couldn't leave him. I just knew I needed to be with him. And since then, we've had Cara and we had Senan as well. And Senan has also been diagnosed with autism. And Senan also has severe allergies. So I was a very busy mum and I had to put the career on hold. I had to say goodbye to my beloved Tourism Ireland, a company which I loved, friends, which I still am friends with them now. But I was absolutely thrown into full-time mum. And as I said, busy household, learning everything I could absolutely learn about autism and how to help my two little men. So in that time, I always had a notebook. I have it here today with me. I always carry notebooks around. I was jotting down little ideas because friends of mine since I was constantly in a tracksuit or jeans the whole time, friends were coming over and saying, you know, Debs, I've got a wedding on this weekend, or I've got something on, can I borrow one of your dresses? I always loved dresses, always loved style and fashion. So they'd come, I'd give them a bag of about 5 dresses, and off they'd go, they'd wear one to the wedding, bring them back to me. And this was happening quite a lot. And I was like, oh, I'm just delighted somebody's getting a wear out of my dress. And then my babysitter one time, she was going to a graduation. She said she had no money. She said, I want to keep my money for the few drinks and stuff. So I said, why don't you borrow one of mine? They're just hanging up in the wardrobe. Why don't you borrow one of my dresses? Stunning on her. She took one of the long black one. It's up on the website now. Absolutely beautiful on her. Got loads of comments. And she's borrowed other ones since. So jokingly, my friend and I said, there could be something in this. You know, I said I should put them all up on the site. And then I was talking to a friend of mine who is in retail, and he was like, yeah, but how, like, you just can't put your dresses up on the site. That won't make any money. That's not a business. And I hadn't even heard of Airbnb or anything like that at the time. But I was thinking, well, if I have loads of dresses in my wardrobe and I'm not getting a wear out of them, other people must have loads of dresses in their wardrobes too. So as it happened, other people do. And they've now become members of Rent My Dress as well. I set up the website it kind of went live around 2013. And I've had to go back and train in social media marketing, which I love as well. I think Twitter's fantastic, Facebook, Instagram, they're all brilliant. It's so easy to reach people. As you probably all know, you're probably all marketing your own houses and your own apartments on all social media. But so I went back, we developed a website, and the website has been my biggest challenge, my biggest issue, and getting the website right. So we're almost 100% there with the website, and I just think that the last 3 years have been building and building and building, and 2016 is really the year. My 3 kids are in school, so first of all, I've got way more time. So it's really kind of like the launch year for Rent My Dress. We already have 50 members. We've got over 100 dresses up there. We also do accessories and jackets, coats, shoes, bags. And people are renting to each other, to and fro, for a fraction of the retail price. So you could buy a dress in Coast for €400, and it's up on our site for maybe 70. So it's just makes sense. Many of the dresses that are up on the site haven't even been worn. People buy them, they end up, maybe their figure changes, their circumstances change, and they don't wear them. So, but you still don't want to give it away for some reason. You don't want to give it away. So this is an easy way for you to make some money and use what's in your wardrobe. And again, I'm absolutely delighted to be part of this sharing economy team. And it's like it fits into something now. This model fits into something. People get it. And as a group together, it's like as if I found my brothers and sisters in arms, that they know what I'm talking about. They get it, they get the idea, because a lot of people say, and how does that work? These guys know how it works, you guys know how it works. So please feel free to ask any questions afterwards, have a look at my website, and any comments, any feedback are most welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much for sharing your stories. Like I said, there are some phenomenal businesses and enterprises growing here in Ireland. But what does Share Ireland mean to you? And I think that's something we really wanted to touch on here today. We want the voice of the sharing economy to be heard and known better here in Ireland. We know that we need to champion the sharing economy better, and we know that the government needs to hear your voices louder. And that is why we're going to be launching home sharing clubs and Airbnb Action here in Ireland. Airbnb Action is a way for you to sign up and find out what's happening in Share Island and how you can be involved. We are forming home sharing clubs in cities across the world, and it's for hosts to come together to raise awareness about home sharing and why it's important to you. If you can sign up today, I've got some laptops over here ready for everyone to sign up. Anyone that's interested, please do. And be one of the first people to hear about what we're going to be doing with this. It's going to be incredibly exciting. It's a chance for us to talk about fairer taxation. It's a chance for us to work harder on the regulatory environment. Any issues that anybody's having, we're working together, and we want to do it with you. We want your voice to be part of it. So please come on over. I'll be just over here. Ask any questions. And yes, we look forward to taking you with us on this journey. So thank you very much. I'm now going to bring back to Sarah, who's going to tell you about the next sessions.
Thanks so much, guys. So, keynote session 1 down. Is everybody feeling okay? Yeah, you excited? I am going to, this is actually kind of ad hoc, but I was just curious who actually traveled the longest to get here. I thought I would give away another t-shirt. So who traveled for over 2 hours? Oh, okay, that's some dedication. We like this. More than 3? Still happening. I suspect people are, okay, 4. More than 4 hours? I've got 2 at 4.5. I feel like I'm an auctioneer. It's very odd. Okay, does anyone else still have their hand up? How long did you travel? 4.5 from Donegal. I have a feeling it's going to be Donegal or Kerry. Executive decision, you both get a t-shirt, because that's very, very great dedication. Thank you so much. Now, I have nothing else to add really except to say thank you to all the great speakers who have already joined us here today, and thank you to all of you. I know a few of you have joined us since I welcomed you here today, so we're just so excited that you're all here. You've got a little break here now. The next breakout sessions are going to start, or the first breakout sessions are going to start at 11:45. They are all over the building. I did make one note this morning, which I'll just repeat, which is that the library is listed as being on the 3rd floor. It's not, it's in the middle floor, okay? There's going to be speaker or anybody with the pink tag can help you find anything that you're looking for. You do have a few minutes now to grab some tea and coffee, go outside, take a look at the canal, whatever it is that you'd like to do, and we will kick off with the breakout sessions soon.